We'll call the meeting to order at 6:05, which is time for additions or deletions to the agenda, so we're back on time. Anybody got any additions or deletions to the agenda? Is Donna's here in the upper right, okay? What's supposed to report? Okay, hearing none. Members of the public. So, members of the public, are you folks public?
We are public.
Okay, and then who we got on TV? We got some public on TV. Do we know who the iPhone person is? Chantel. Chantel. Okay, well no, we just need it for the minutes. So, is Meredith? You know Chantel?
She's a 6th grade parent at Wardsboro.
Okay.
Does she have a last name?
Yep.
What's
Alden.
Hi, Chantel, you want to unmute?
N.
Yep.
No,
Yep, this is Chantel Aldin, A-L-D-I-N.
Yep, thank you. We just need it for the minutes.
Sure.
Kendra, Meredith, Laura. Okay, so I don't care who goes first, or if you want to all talk at the same time, or
I can talk.
okay, just who you got to tell us who you are.
Sure. Lisa Ballantyne.
Does Meredith have these people? Okay,
Yep,
yeah,
we
fine.
put our names on the paper.
Okay, thank you.
I am a 6th grade parent, or I have a daughter who's in 6th grade at Wardsboro Elementary, and I don't really know how this works, so I guess I'll just jump into it. We read this, we got handed this paper when we got this letter when we got here, and this is what we are here in regards to. So this is the classroom staffing situation for the 5th and 6th grade students at the Wardsboro Elementary School, and we are here to basically address our concerns and talk about recommendations. Some of the key points that I wanted to point out in here is that the principal cannot be the sole solution for the shortage of the qualified educators. For the sole solution for the problem that we do not have a 5th and 6th grade teacher. I do want to also say that they've come up with a schedule. This was implemented, I believe, a week ago. Feedback from our children, we all have children in the 5th and 6th grade, and feedback from our children is things are going better. However, it's not ideal, it's not great. We would like to know what Plan B is if we do not get a teacher. We don't have any applications that have come in. We're concerned that our children are not meeting marks. Some of us have already had our parent-teacher conferences. It's not great. We know that the teachers are doing the best that they can, but we want to talk about, do we send our kids to another school? Do we start looking at other options? What are our other options? And where do we go from here? Because we can't, as parents, we don't feel like we can wait. How long do we wait, I guess is the question. We don't feel like we can wait much longer for a teacher. January, February, March, obviously the teachers, Ms. Bills and our principal cannot keep doing this for too much longer. We appreciate what they have been doing and they're doing a great job, but it's just not sustainable, and the children need the support. So some of us would like to send our kids to the school, especially the 6th grade parents. We would like to send our kids to the schools that possibly they're going to next year.
Ideally, we want to keep them where they are.
That's
Obviously.
ideally what we would like to do.
If we don't have an option,
If we don't have a teacher, then that's our Plan B.
Yeah.
So
So
that's our.
No, we appreciate. Did you have something in writing, or were you were referring to something?
Oh no, we got handed this letter when we came.
Oh yeah, the memo from
Right.
Don.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point out that this was we read this over. It was very well written, and these are our concerns as well. But we're looking for a Plan B.
And
obviously.
This, just so you know, this just came out tonight for us too.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Janine and our children have been together since kindergarten, pre-K, and we really do want to keep them together and graduate them together. They're best friends. Star's son is in 5th grade, and he has been, same thing. Chantel's son moved to our school and has done phenomenal within our school, and we're a big family. We love our school and our teachers, but we are in a tough situation, and they've been through a lot. These children, they had a 1st and 2nd grade teacher that left, and then we brought somebody else in, and then they went on maternity leave, and obviously the whole school went through COVID, but this particular class has had it really, really rough. And now they're in this situation, and they don't have one day that's the same as the next right now, and emotionally they are coming home a mess. And there's no fault on the school. The principal and the teachers and everybody is there to support them, but they are young and they need some security, and they need they need to know that their days are, they have somebody there that they can talk to, and that their days are, but they don't have that, and so we need to give them some kind of normalcy. So what are our options?
Okay. Thank you. You guys, any?
Now we're all in agreement with that, all of them.
Okay. I got a couple people on TV. I don't know, I can't see it. We got Kendra, I believe, is Kendra's on staff, is it?
No, Valerie is.
Okay, Kendra, or, I'm sorry, the other, I can't.
Trisha.
No,
Chantel.
Chantel. Do you folks have anything under public?
I would just echo, what Lisa was saying. My son's been there since kindergarten, and they have, and again, no fault of the school, but they've had a really rocky experience with instability with teachers, and it's unfortunate what happened with Sam, and we really miss her, and I think, my son's coming home every day and having, not the best of time in his last year. We do want to keep him there, and we want him to graduate like all of the other 6th grade traditions. My kiddo's on an IEP for special education, and I don't think that his needs are being met, and it's really unfortunate. And there's some times where, I've tried to communicate with Donna, and she's unable to maybe put as much focus and attention as she can to be a principal, because she's also now having to step up and be a teacher. So, it's really unfortunate and unfair for her to have to be in both of these roles. And, she's brand new to the school, brand new to the community. And it's just, the kids are suffering, and it's just unfortunate.
Hey, Kendra, did you have anything you want to add?
Nope, thanks.
Okay. Alyssa and Peter, I know, are you public? Did you have anything under public? And then we'll get to you, Laura. Is Alyssa a parent?
She's a parent, but she's also the nurse at Wardsboro.
Okay.
Yes, Elisa just started today, was her first day, so.
Okay. Is there any other comment from the public? Okay, hearing none. Go ahead, Laura. What do you have?
Do we have a place on the agenda where we can have a discussion about this, Rich?
Well, it's really not anything for us to decide. We don't deal with staffing. It's going to come from the administration. So the administration's going to have to give us some ideas on how they can deal with this. I just, my only comment is we had every expectation up to a couple weeks ago that the teacher would be returning. So, it's as much, it's as much an issue for us and for the staffing, because this is something that was unexpected. But when we start getting into staffing issues, Laura, then we're not doing our board duties, we're not overseeing, we're running a school. And
I appreciate that, Richard. We have 2 new administrators and a new superintendent, so I would just like to make sure that they have all of the support that is necessary from us. This is a pretty sticky situation.
yeah, and I've talked to Bob and told him if he needs something, he needs to come to us and let us know, and we'll be there to support them. We've told Donna that. And, we've told Tracy that on all the issues she's had. It's not just been a rocky start in Wardsboro, it's been a rocky start everywhere, in both buildings. And it's a little worse in Wardsboro because it's exasperated because there's less staff there. But, we had the nursing issue, we've had issues throughout the whole thing. So when they have a plan, they can come to us and they'll let us know. And if we need to make a decision, we'll make a decision.
Okay, so I have a question for the administrator. Shall I wait until the principal's report?
Yeah, because I think next thing was members of the staff.
Great.
Okay, so staff, does,
I have a question.
yeah,
I just had a question for you guys. One of the things it seems like, and thank you for coming tonight and telling us about your situation. One of the things it seemed like you were suggesting at the end, I just want to make sure I'm clear, is that you were looking for if there's things that can't be fixed here in Wardsboro, that you're looking for other opportunities outside the school. Could you just maybe clarify that a little bit for us so that we know if there's any options along those lines in our administrators?
So if a teacher cannot be found in an appropriate time, we would like to send our children to ascending school. Is that an option?
we're sending school, you want to send them to another school that would take tuition for them.
Well, correct, because Wardsboro doesn't have a teacher.
Right.
So if Wardsboro doesn't have a teacher, can I send my child to Winhall, or the Mountain School, which is a school that we send to? Or can my child go to Leland and Gray? Or can they come to Dover? Because those are schools.
Okay.
Correct. So that, I guess, is why we came here. Is that a plan B? Can we make that a plan B? And what would be the timeline on that? Do I get to decide as a parent? Is that a decision that you guys make? Do you say that, okay, so it's been 5 months, it's been a month, it's been like we have no hits for a teacher, nobody's applying, we don't have a teacher, so within X number of days we're going to offer this option to these parents. Who makes that decision?
Good. Thanks.
And at what, is it considerable for 5th grade and 6th grade? Is it, that type of thing? Because, 5th grade is obviously in a little bit of a different position.
So let me just say that we as board members are not educators. That's why we have a superintendent, and that's why we have 2 administrators in each building. So we're going to look to them for recommendations. Mm-hmm. Okay, because everybody's got a lane and we need to stay in our lanes, and our lane is not to make a decision. Our lane isn't to say there's no 5th grade or 6th grade anymore in Wardsboro, everybody's going to come to Dover. That has to be a recommendation from the administration, because we have to know that it's going to work.
So I just want to clarify, because we had a meeting last week and Bob was there and so was the principal at Wardsboro, and in that meeting we were told that they could not let us know whether or not we could send our children to sending schools.
But that was up to you guys.
So that was up to you, which is why we're here.
That's not only just up to us, there has to be some, I don't know if we can tuition out. You can definitely pull your child out and pay tuition somewhere else.
I guess I'm just asking
Can I
for
clarify?
clarity.
I think I understand what they're trying to say. So if Donna and Bob Tebow decide that it's appropriate because they can't find a teacher in a timely manner, would you support them? Would you support in paying tuition for them to go to ascending school?
I don't even know if we can pay tuition. That's what I just said.
I think that's what they want to know.
Okay.
Would you support
I don't know
it?
if we can,
Okay.
but that's why the administration needs to come to tell us what our options are.
Right. I just wanted to be clear what you're asking
Okay,
too, so we can
and
look
maybe
into
you
that.
could clarify with them what those steps are, because I don't think that they are aware that that is a decision that is something that they need to, because in our meeting last week, I'm pretty sure it was last week, we had that meeting, in our meeting last week, they
Okay, so
made it clear to us.
Just so you know, you may have had a meeting, we don't know what happened at that
Okay,
meeting.
I'm just- yeah, that's why I'm explaining.
So basically, under this section, under members of the public, it's not a back and forth and a discussion. You guys, if you have a concern, you can present it to us. okay?
Yep.
And then we listen, this is nothing we're gonna make a decision, we can't make a
I
decision.
understand that, yeah.
So we look to our administration to make the recommendations to us and give us some options, and then we'll make a decision from there, if it's our decision.
I
Okay?
understand that. I'm
So,
just trying to
yeah,
clarify.
I mean, the administration may decide to take a staff member out of another building and put them in Wardsboro. I don't know. That's up to them.
Sounds
Yeah.
great.
I think that's, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
why I'm
that's-
here, because
But
we don't know what the options are
we don't do
either,
staffing. So, right, and I don't know if that's an option. That's our administration
then-
needs to tell us. So if you folks just had the meeting last week, I'm sure they're working on it and they're coming up with some answers, and I'm hopeful that we're gonna
And-
get a report.
And one of the proposed ideas was to present this idea to you.
Right, this is
here.
what we-
So
Well,
that's why we're here.
not the parents. I think these come from the administration.
Okay, well,
Okay.
we were told it had to come from us, so that's why
Okay,
we're here.
well then, there's a little bit of confusion.
That's what it sounds like, so
Okay.
thank you, we appreciate your time.
So, yeah, no, I mean, we definitely can listen, we're just, we can't give you an answer.
I understand that, yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
Chantel has her hand up.
Yeah, and so it was Laura. Chantel, go ahead.
Hi, just, from someone who's watching on a screen and not in the room, it feels like there's clearly there's a lot of feelings for us parents, but it feels like there's a lot of feelings for people of the board as well. We are concerned parents. Our kiddos need to be educated. We're taxpayers. Our kids are important to us. They're our future. And it just feels like there's a lot of hostility going on in this meeting when we as parents have been told to get information from the board. And it feels like we're being ridiculed for that. So we're here asking for information. We're asking for help. And it feels like instead of being a team, like being a collective team and coming together to find out a plan, because you guys are telling us information that's not the same as Donna, and it's not the same as Bob. And so like everyone has different information that you're telling us. It's the end of October. Our kids have been without a teacher since the beginning of September. Like it's not a waiting game. So everyone that's involved needs to get the same message and make a plan and make it happen, because I'm not okay with my kid continuing to go to school without a teacher.
Okay, thank you. Laura, go ahead.
I'm going to ask again if we can, if there's a space for us to talk with our administrators about this issue later on in the meeting, and also just making sure that we have an understanding of what parents know and what they don't know. Do parents know about the choice policy within our district? Meaning that students are allowed to go back and forth between Dover, or not back and forth, but they can move within the district, provided that is cleared with the administration and the superintendent in terms of staffing. Do parents have that information?
Yeah. I don't know that I would be acceptable to that with my child being almost out and going somewhere else next year, to send him somewhere for a few months.
So just making sure with our administrator that parents all have that information.
We know the policy, I'm not sure about
Laura, are you asking me?
Yes.
So I, as a new administrator, knowing that, yes, parents, Jen Finaldi is here too. Thanks, Jen, for being here, who's been involved longer, that parents can have that option of their students to send them to Dover as long as there is room in the classroom. So that would be a conversation for Principal Gamache and myself to have prior, if there's an interest. And I'm not sure of the paperwork that's involved. I haven't seen that yet, but I am aware of the process and the opportunity that's available to them. Jen, would you say that the parents know that? Do we have any new parents that wouldn't know that option?
You gotta mute yourself.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute.
I believe everyone knows, maybe some of the newer parents coming in, but that seems to be a known and kind of a thing that we all have, you know, school choice beyond 6th grade, and if you've wanted to change, you are able. We have, you know, a few students from Wardsboro that attend Dover, and we have a couple that come from Dover that attend Wardsboro. So I believe it's known, and I believe, I guess what I'm hearing from the parents, and please forgive me if I'm overstepping, that maybe what they're asking is the other options beyond our River Valley school choice.
Okay, thanks, Rich. Again, I'm hoping that we can have a high level, not figuring out the solution in the school, but when there's going to be a proposal, conversation about this when we get to the principal's report.
Okay, thank you. Members of the staff, do we have any staff that would like to speak?
I don't have anything to add, but I just want to thank Laura for her comments about showing our support. We're in a really unusual year, and I think showing that support would be really meaningful.
Thank you, Trish. Anybody else?
Jen does.
I'm sorry, what?
Jen.
Oh, go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, I can't find my controls this evening. Yes, I just want to reiterate as well, we are in a unique year with new administration and this unforeseen event that has happened. And again, as you pointed out, Rich, that we had hoped and thought a different scenario and that Samantha would be back. And Donna and Valerie have been co-teaching and pulling together and doing what the best they could doing that, and this is new news, and I understand what the parents are saying, and I thank them for bringing this forward. I don't know what they do on the outside and how they're feeling, and I'm sorry for that. On our end, we are doing the best that we can, but we are short-staffed in many ways. Without a nurse, yes, Elisa started today, but without a lunch pair, without a Spanish teacher, we have been short-staffed, and without a teacher, when we only have 4, we're missing, a quarter of our core staff, and it shows. So there's hopefully that new ad that's been out there, and hopefully someone is going to see it and want to be a long-term sub for the whole year. And this is going to change, but I do understand there needs to be some type of time frame for everyone, students. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Anybody else? Okay, up to old business, playground updates. So why don't we start with the Dover one? What?
Kate has her hand.
Oh, go ahead, Kate.
Can I put my parent hat on for a moment and step out as a board member, go a public member for a moment?
Sure.
Okay. So I have a child in the 3rd grade. No, I'm sorry. I have a child in the 4th grade. And as you know, Principal Bezic and Mrs. Bills have both been team teaching. And it is really hard. And I would just like to say thank you to them for jumping in and doing what they can at this point in the game. This isn't the best, this isn't ideal. It's definitely affecting the 6th graders, the 5th graders, the 4th graders, the 3rd graders, and all the way down the school. Losing a quarter of your staff is hard. This situation is hard. And I just want to say thank you for those who are there and doing what they can. We appreciate it. And we are so grateful that the parents are coming and sharing their concerns. I appreciate that everybody's coming here and sharing, because it's hard, and I think we do need to talk about it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Are we all set then? Move on? Everybody good? Playground update. Why don't we start in Dover?
I can tell you that that Mr. Vera-Ruth has come and he's cleaned out underneath the swings. He dug out all of the wood, he and Dave did. So our perimeter is complete and the wood chips are underneath. We are just waiting to hear what's going to happen with the one piece of the playscape that needs to be fixed. Our swing seats and chains are in transit, 4 to 6 weeks-ish. And then, Greg has to come up and look at it one more time, and if need be, we might just tape off the climbing wall so that they can use the
rest of it.
But that's...
So that's a little bit better than next year. And can we just take the seats and chain off and put tape around the swing set?
Yeah, there's no chains on them anyways.
Okay.
There's no tape around the swings. You can't use them because there's nothing there.
Okay. Donna, what's going on with the Wardsboro playground?
So it's, the equipment has been delivered and we have people working on it that have been hired out. So they have some pretty relatively large equipment they're using to install. They're making the cement and pouring it in. It's really exciting to see it go up, and the kids are fascinated with the equipment and the gear that's involved. So they've been watching it, but it hasn't affected, them too much because we have access to the woods for play and the front lawn for soccer games and utilize other things on the top. So it's going, and we're excited to have it completed, hopefully shortly. I don't know, maybe the end of the week. I don't know the time frame. I haven't been given any communication on it.
Any questions on the playground from the board? Everybody good? PCB updates, probably nothing, but
Our sampling is going to happen, what's today? 16th. This Wednesday? That's 18th, whatever day of the week it's to land on. And if they don't finish, they'll be back on the 23rd. I have a Zoom meeting tomorrow so I can get the logistics about what that's going to look like.
and if we put fans in, was that?
Those are on order. They should be arriving any minute, but
So it's not testing to see if the fans make a difference, it's testing the more specific
yeah, they're not doing testing, they're doing sampling.
sampling.
And our carbon filters, we have 11 carbon filters, medic air something that we will put in particular locations. There's 2 different strengths of them, and those should be arriving shortly.
Cool. And Donna, you're still scheduled to be tested. You haven't had your initial testing yet, correct?
Yeah, well, Jen, that's what happened these past 2 days.
Oh.
So yes, they've been there
Okay.
last week.
So what do we figure between testing and results?
Months.
Was it months? Okay.
Ours was done in May, and I got them back in August.
So 4 months. So we'll be seeing probably sometime February. Cool. Okay. Any questions on PCBs? PCBs? I always get that wrong. Website update. Is the website up and running? No Chad tonight, right?
No, it's not.
I can give an update. Spoke with Derek Bliss today. So amid the ongoing staff shortage in Wardsboro, Jen Finaldi has been admirably handling so many roles, leaving us with limited opportunities to address the necessary website changes. However, Derek's pleased to inform that we have received a document containing updates from our school nurse, Elise Vinton, a Dover school nurse. But Elise will be meeting with Derek tomorrow. I think they have a meeting to review and discuss proposed changes. Additionally, Derek wanted to highlight a recent enhancement to the website's back end. A custom sorting feature has been incorporated, allowing us to create custom orders for staff lists at each school rather than relying on alphabetical order. So Derek thanks everybody for their understanding, and we look forward to keeping you updated. Jen, I don't know if you had anything to add to that?
Yes, I've been able to look at it, and I have pages that I'll be sharing with Derek of some edits and different things, but it does take time, and there's different edits on different things and links, and the old school calendar, there's, you know, things that just haven't been done, that they're getting done, but it's just not ready. We're working on it, and I'm trying. Thank you.
It is very time consuming, so unfortunately, you know, we'd like to be further along on this, but it's, yeah, time consuming.
Okay. How are we doing in Dover?
For the website?
Yeah.
Derek's taking care of that for us.
Okay.
I mean, while
Is Derek the
I have
IT guy from the
yes.
district that no
He's
longer
out.
works?
He's our liaison for the IT department. He is in this building 2 days a week.
Okay. So he's dealing with it in both
Yes.
buildings? Okay. No, that's, and we've got everything we need from the company that designed this that we spent all the money with?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think
I don't believe so. Yeah, I don't think we have everything.
There's gaps in it. There's also like thousands and thousands of documents that have to have changes made to them because they didn't, whoever decided they were gonna do it to begin with, instead of sharing one drive, they changed the drive, which means you have to change the setting on every single document. And I think they asked Derek to do that and he said no. Because that's
Okay.
insanity.
So is that from the company did that, or did?
That was a, from my understanding, maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Well, can somebody find out for us? Because I mean, we spent.
That's a Chad question. He was the
Okay.
one that set all that up.
Okay. So tell me that again, so.
So there's something wrong with the Google Drives because it wasn't placed in correct, like there was a change made to the Google Drives. You have to go in on every document that is on, that they have linked from the old website and change the setting to the tune of like 10,000 documents or something like that. And that's just not feasible.
And these are all the documents that were supposed to be on.
They were supposed to like, you know, come over nicely. They did not.
Okay. I thought, yeah, because I thought that was part of what we paid that company for. So, okay. Was Chad at the last meeting?
No.
Okay. No, he was.
Chad texted me before the meeting, and he had a family situation he was dealing with. So,
Okay, yeah, I don't show any message.
see if he could make it at some point.
Okay. Hey, Meredith,
Yes.
can you just make sure we have a note in there? We need to check with Chad and find out what's up with moving the documents. So you can't, we don't use the new website yet. So parents or public can't go out and see the new website, or can they?
I don't believe
No.
Okay. So somebody remind me if I'm wrong, weren't we told that this was probably gonna happen in before the start of school? I mean, I thought,
That was the hope.
okay,
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if we should go back to the company, like you're suggesting, and see if there's any kind of support, because obviously this can't be done in-house. I'm hearing from you that this can't be done in-house.
Absolutely
So
not.
we need some assistance to get
Okay.
this running, right?
yeah. So I got a whole line, Laura, Jen, and then Kate.
Yeah, I think I just heard you make the request I'm hoping for, Rich, which is a status update, a pretty good status update on where we're at from whoever's in charge right now, which sounds like it's Chad. and the district. Like, do we have anybody at the district that's helping with this? Can we ask Bob to send somebody to talk to us about this?
Well, I thought
Yeah.
it was coming through us because it's not a district situation, it's a River Valley situation. So.
Understood, but, you know, again, with the whole capacity issues that we're facing and with the district having a tech person, maybe they can help us just at least understand where we're at.
Okay,
Thanks.
yeah, go ahead, Jen, I'm sorry. Unmute yourself, Jen.
Well, you did, Jen.
She's yelling at me because she isn't unmuted.
Sorry. Yes, as we've all been waiting for this website. But I just want to clarify that the first time that Wardsboro has heard from Creative Edgeworks was September 7th to start setting up a meeting to meet with him. That's into this school year. And in September, in administrative's world, that's the busiest month of the school year, regardless of any other situation happening in our world. So there's that. What I believe Tracy is talking about are all the documents don't have that shareable link. And so yes, they were uploaded, I believe Chad, they were uploaded, given and put into the website, but they are not shared. So if you clicked on the link, that you would not get to it. So everything has to be shared or however it's done from the IT. And luckily, I'm saying IT in this frame because Derek has offered, not through his IT school time, this is hours above doing the website, it's above his normal job, but he is helping with the website and helping with all this editing and helping us to get those things on there and the documents, you know, the current stuff that needs to be uploaded. He is helping with that. But again, all that takes time, and that we really didn't hear from Creative Edgeworks till after Labor Day.
Okay, thank you. And we've tried because I thought in the spring we had a conversation and Creative Edgework was all up to speed and this, I'm trying to remember, but we need to look into it. Kate, go ahead.
So being the note taker that I am and just kind of remembering what I remember, like, yes, we made really good progress this spring. We had some traction this summer, and then everything it got really tricky. The Wardsboro team got trained, the Dover team had some delays, and then, but it sounds like we just need to regroup internally, get an update from Chad, have Chad work with the internal teams, and then if it needs to, then we need to reach out to Edgeworks. It feels like we're jumping to some conclusions, so I think we need to regroup, pause, and work together to find what our next step should be.
Yeah, so that's, Meredith, just make sure we have a note and we can get hold of Chad and ask him for if he can get us something in writing before next meeting, just so that we know what's happening. Did we beat up the website pretty bad? Website's beating us up pretty bad.
Beating us up, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other old business from anybody? Okay, new business, approved financials and its discussion. That was from the last meeting. The only thing I think, Kate, and you'll remember from your notes, I'm sure, was that we were supposed to see if there was a way for us to be able to, after you sign, to go back and look at the financials. Did you ever hear anything back from anybody?
I didn't hear anything back, and we did have an email that we were on with Lori, and we were gonna make sure we had a discussion as a group, and we did. But then one of the things that we had requested was to make sure that we got the finalized version, and I know that I got the finalized version. I'm not sure if anybody else did, and I think that was something we were searching for everybody.
What gets brought to the meeting?
Yeah, so making sure that, like, once we hit approve, we get a copy of what we approved and we can bring that to the meeting and everybody can review it. So now, like in my email, now that we both have finally, now that we both have finalized and approved it, like I have an email, I have the documentation that gives us all, what was it, 76 pages or something fun for that last packet. So we could share it. We have to clarify if we can share that packet to the other board members and then make sure we bring that to the board meeting.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, we just need to send Lori an email on how we're going to get that to the meetings. Because I also saw that there was something from somebody saying that there's no financials for this meeting, so there's nothing to approve. And then, I don't remember it, but we got an email from Bob about
There's like an email from Bob.
investment.
I was just looking it up now,
Yeah. And I don't know, I don't remember us having that conversation. Did somebody request an investment policy?
I think it was a question that was posed while we were in a meeting, like we were curious on where the money was sitting, and Lori was they were talking about where things were and like how the money was, what the policies were. I can't remember who asked. I can read back through the notes, but yeah, it was questioned, and so I think that was just circling back on that question on where the money was, like on what the policy was for investing the money that we have in reserves.
Okay, so do you mind, Kate, go ahead, Meredith.
Oh, I just wanted to know Peter's last name. Give it a second.
Yeah, I believe it's Anderson.
Oh, here's Chad. So let's just finish up, let him finish up on the financials. So on the investment policy, Kate, can you and Mike just look at this and see if you want to bring it forth to us or not?
Okay, we can do that.
And I wonder if we can make one just as simple as, for River Valleys, we will follow the Wyndham Central policy. I don't know if that will.
Is there an existing policy?
Wyndham Central's had one for years.
I don't remember seeing it.
This goes back to 2011. So I'll give you that, Mike. I printed it for you. Is there any more on the approved financials? Hey, Chad, can you hear us?
I can. I just turned off the video because I'm driving.
Okay. So with you driving, without you driving off the road, can you tell us where do we stand on the website?
That's a wonderful question. I know that we got basically we were able to get training done at least halfway for Wardsboro, Dover, and I think I saw Tracy's here with us. So love some input from Tracy if it was just a matter of timing that training wasn't able to happen for her and Lori in their building. But part of that was also being able to utilize Derek for some assistance in getting some elements added, upgraded, as we roll through, which he said he's happy to do, again, so long as time permits. I need to follow up with Cynthia. I know Derek did, to make one change as far as the listing of personnel, and that has been completed. And I think the only outstanding item is just and it's something that I'm not understanding very well, so I do apologize, but all of our documents right now were put into a Google Drive. But when we are testing the website and we go to have a look at, let's say, the 2023 annual report, it's asking for permissions, and it shouldn't be. Those should be non-editable, but fully accessible by any member of the public. So as far as I can tell, that's the only hang-up that is causing us to fall short of being live. And this was something that, I was under the impression that Edgeworks was going to make sure that the Google Drives were all set up. I sent them the files that were required, thanks to, Lori in the financial side of the world for providing those to me and staff from the central office. And so obviously since I've rejoined the workforce full time, it's been tough to navigate, the schedules with Edgeworks and myself. So for that, I apologize, but that's fully on my shoulders for sure.
Okay, so you understand what's going on with the Google Drives, and you're working on that with Cynthia from Edgeworks, which is the company we hired.
Right. So just to give you some, honest background. So I had asked the question. We apparently had set up 2 Google Drives when Matt was chairing our group as a committee, and they weren't sure which one. Derek was able to tell me which one was which. So I provided that information to Cynthia, and now it's sort of gotten lost in the shuffle. But we need to make those accessible to everybody and make sure the documents that are all there. And I'm 99% confident that we do have all the information with Edgeworks to be in those Google Drives to turn the key and go for public dissemination.
Okay, just say that again. I'm sorry, because I missed something there. We're all set to go.
So again, there were 2 drives that were set up for some reason. Each one, I've never had the usernames or the password protection to either of these, which makes it even more difficult. So Edgeworks had suggested that we try one thing. I forwarded that to Derek because again, this is more in the IT lingo than I understand. And so it seems to have been ping-ponging back and forth between Edgeworks and ourselves in some way. But I need to find a way to gently but forcefully have Edgeworks take control of this because they are the IT running, getting this set up for us. That was my understanding from the RFP and from their winning proposal that all the drives would be set up by them. We might create them and set the username and passwords, but they would have access to load the information as was appropriate.
Okay. So how do we get this moving forward so that
I'll send another email tonight and hopefully get a response tomorrow or the day. Again, as I mentioned, one of the hiccups for Edgeworks was having some of their personnel out with some health issues as we rounded the corner to the home stretch. So the home stretch has been stretched out about a month longer than we anticipated by all means.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Is everybody as clear as mud?
Yeah. Hey, Chad, don't we also have, we get a certain amount of, time from Edgeworks as well as part of the contract, so they'll continue to work with us even, once it's set up. So would that count towards some of the time towards fixing this, or is that part of the original contract?
No, I think, you're right, Dwight, that we do have time, for training and updates, as we continue to evolve with this. And we certainly have not utilized all that training time. When Cynthia came back on board, she was fantastically responsive with the admins at each school to get that set up. Definitely a part of the creation from the get-go.
Okay.
And still foreign to me. As Rich likes to say, clear as mud, I like to say it's Greek, but same concept, same result. We're just missing a little bit of information to get it done.
Okay.
Yeah, can you make sure you include Derek on the email and just include the administrators just so they know what's going on. And if you're out working and you folks see something that you can answer or get pushed forward, because we really need to get this pushed forward too. We got a lot of things that are kind of falling on our heads all in one shot. So if you can take care of that. Thank you, Chad. Sorry to put you on the spot driving. Hope you stayed on the road. You got a little rough there for a second. We're all good with the financials, right? Is everybody okay to move on? Jen, you had your hand up and I don't see it up anymore. You all set? Okay.
Me? Oh,
No, Jen had her hand up. Meredith?
oh, Jen, okay.
Okay, so Peter went away. Did Peter go away?
Yeah.
Okay, do we know who it was?
Yeah, Kate told.
Okay.
It could have been my husband, Anderson.
Okay,
Could have
so
been, I don't know.
he didn't want to talk to you anymore, so he left. Okay, so principals reports. Who are in your building? We'll go with you first. If you have anything.
I don't think I have anything since, I had the playground since my report at the beginning.
No, it's just that what we do is we do it the second time. We know there's not going to be a written report, but if something came up between when you wrote your first report and the first meeting and this meeting. So it's just a chance if there's something else that you think we need to be made aware of. Because now we're going to go into something else and we're going to be made aware of something. All set? Donna. So we all got an email from you today. So why don't you tell us what's going on and what your thoughts are?
So to give some background, I was asked last Friday to write a report to you, Rich, to inform you on where we were at in our situation at Wardsboro Elementary School. So I did write a report, and I'd like to, we can follow up with that afterwards. But I did want to highlight our open house that we had last week. Was a huge hit. Over 80 people attended, and the school song was sung in a round with parents, and it was a lot of fun. So I wanted to highlight some success at our school. And I also want to give some appreciation to the Wardsboro staff and their patience and flexibility in the increased changes. Due to the staff shortage, as we've been talking about, the staff is filling in these gaps and to ensure adequate coverage for student supervision. Our schedule has had to be revised and changed to support the 5th, 6th grade schedule. And so that affects other things, of course, like service schedules needed to be revised. So it has impacted other classrooms greatly. Again, I want to tell everybody how much I appreciate our staff in understanding this circumstance. It was unexpected, and hopefully we can get going in a little bit more of a at ease when we have more time to communicate. We have a staff meeting scheduled tomorrow to really unwind where we're at with our schedule. I would like to thank Derek Bliss too. He saved us potentially $1,000 to $3,000. He was able to run a cable to the printer himself without having to bring in First Choice. And Jen's really hopefully happy to hear that, because it's been glitching. Our printer has been glitching quite a bit at school. And thank you to Derek, who ran that cable today. And hopefully we won't have any more printing problems. So let's go into what you would like to discuss within the report.
Yeah, no, so again, we were all under the impression that the teacher was coming back. So I don't know, because I don't remember seeing in a report. I think you were filling in with some subs because we thought it was going to be the 5 days or whatever the grievance policy is. And then I know we had a conversation at some point, and Bob said he was going to be meeting with the staff member in question a couple weeks ago, a week and a half. I don't remember exactly when that was. And then we were told that that staff member is not going to be coming back this year. When did that happen? When did we know they weren't coming back? And
Go ahead, Kate. Because it was at our last board meeting,
yeah,
correct?
okay, so that was when we found out they weren't coming back. But what were we doing prior to that? You were filling in. I know you had Valerie doing some stuff and you were doing some stuff. Did we look for a substitute? Or was it just because it was just the 5 days that we thought it was going to be?
Well, Valerie and I were proactive in planning something so it would be consistent for the students, because we didn't know what was going to happen, so we wanted some more stability, and we tried to plan out something so that moving forward, if she wasn't coming back, we would be more prepared, and that's kind of what we did when we presented that. And then the next day it happened so that it was going to be extended. So since then, I have had it reposted. Hopefully it's up at the top on School Spring or Applicant Tracker, that the posting is looking newer, because it is a different time of the position. It's not only for a certain amount of time, it's for now the whole year. So hopefully that would help. We've also talked in the parent forum, told the parents that we were navigating colleges. I know Bob had mentioned they had paid some money so that it was posted in a collaborative publicly, and continued having conversations with interested people, but yet not able to successfully have somebody commit to this teaching position right now.
So you've had no applicants?
No, we have not.
Okay.
We have not had any applicants.
So I think last time we had a discussion about just School Spring and if it made sense also advertise in the newspapers. So you said you did something in a collaborative. Have we tried newspapers?
I'm putting it on my list right now.
They also made it, like, they posted it on the SU website, and I know a number of people, including folks sitting in the room, like a lot of the parents have been sharing it as well. So it's a multi-channel effort that it's going out on. It's not just School Spring now, it is a wide effort, and it's a big net is being cast.
Okay. So I guess the question parents were wondering is how long do we wait, and what is our plan, and how are we going to formulate other options? So how are we going to do that? How are you going to do that? How is the administration going to do that?
So this is new, and I don't understand quite what process, if there are other times that this has happened in your river valleys or in another elementary school, potentially what the process could be. And I'd like to be able to clearly let parents know what options are available based on what is available.
Okay, so I'll tell you, in 20 some odd years, I've never had this happen before. We've had people out for pregnancy, or for not pregnancy, childbirth, but usually we have a lot of advance notice on that. Obviously, there was no advance notice on this situation because it's different. But so we've never experienced, or at least I've never experienced. I don't think Wardsboro ever experienced it.
Yes. Yeah, pregnant mothers.
Yeah, or so for some extended, short extension. But I see Jen shaking her head no. So again, we're not educators. So what do you think? Where do we go? What do we do? What would be your suggestions? And I think, and I'm not putting you on the spot for tonight, but I think what I'd like to do is have you come up with some ideas and some thoughts that you could present to the board, or you can just put into action. The board has always been very open and said, if you need something, just do it. I think when Tracy proposed a change in the Dover building, we told her if you need to spend some money on a paraprofessional, go ahead and do that. I'm just not sure what the options are and what you're looking to try to do. So is it possible for you to meet with Bob and come back to us before the next meeting, say beginning of next week, with some other options, and see if we can expand where we're going with advertising, and kind of let us know what you think we could do? And would the board be available to do a special meeting next week to just get a report from our administration. So the only...
I think that's reasonable. I always am looking for other stakeholders to be involved as well. And so I don't know if potentially another parent forum is needed to listen about what options that they have that they're thinking.
So I think you need to present some options that can work, because, you know, I may come up with an option, you know, that just doesn't work. I think we need to have our educational professionals give us some guidance on this, and that's why we look to the administration for that. So again, I think we have thrown out some ideas on, you know, advertising locally, trying some different things. I mean, it seemed to help with the nurse. I think the nurse came not because it was advertised on School Spring, but because it was out in the public. There was a question asked about tuition. I don't know if we can legally tuition people to another school. You know, the law states, and I haven't read it in a while, but if you offer the classes, you can't tuition. The parent can pull their child out and pay tuition to another school. So we would have to look and see if we even could tuition. I don't know if we can or not, but somebody should look into that for us, because that's been a question that was asked.
That's being looked into.
Okay, so we can't even discuss that until we are told whether we can or can't do that. So that's why I think it's important for you to give us, the administration, to give us some options on where we can go. We'll have a special meeting. We'll dedicate the meeting just to this topic, and we'll see what we can do to help ease the parents' concerns. So go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, so I have a question for you, Donna, which is, what do you need? What do you need right now? How can the board help you right now? We need to be able to provide answers to the taxpayers and to the parents. I, just from my small understanding of what you are working on right now, I'm not sure how you can provide us the appropriate, and yet you are our educational leader in the school. And so we need help, we need help sorting this out, and you need help to help us. So how can we help you? What do you need? What would be helpful for you right now? Do you know? And if you don't know, then, you know, I'm happy for us to have another meeting this week, because this is a very unique situation. I think we have staff that are under pretty extreme stress and parents who are rightly concerned. And I just want to make sure that, you know, I'm sorry that Bob's not here. I know we've got stress galore throughout the supervisory. So that is my number one priority. As our educational leader, Donna, I expect that you will tell us what you need to help us help you. You know, and I don't know what that is. So,
thank you.
And Laura, the only reason I was suggesting next week was not to stress, we could meet tomorrow again, but.
I know, Rich, and if
we don't have anything to meet about it, you know, and I want to be able to get some, you know, have some input on what we can do. The parents have given.
You know, our principal is, you know, teaching multiple classes, dealing with upset parents, trying to do this research for us. So I'm a little concerned that she is not able to do all of those things, plus appropriately get us answers. And so that's a problem. And so how can we help her in this moment?
And that was one of my first comments. Let us know what you need, and we will give it to you, just like we have.
And it sounds like, good, we're on the same page. Great.
So, but again, if you look at the letter, there's no immediate request. I mean, we cannot, you know.
And I don't have the letter, I don't think. I'm looking at my email.
Laura, I'm going to send it to you. it's not a letter, it's a report about giving you an understanding of where we're at now. That was what I was asked to do.
Right, and that's what, when Bob told me about the meeting, I said, we need to just have something so that the board could be made aware of what's happening, so that we can see what we can do to help. And that's why I was hoping that, you know, when Donna came, or, you know, that we could get Donna to give us some suggestions, or our administrative team. It's not just Donna. You know, it's Bob.
Yes, and so I was not aware that this meeting I was coming prepared to give suggestions.
No, I didn't believe you were. I was hoping for this meeting that you would kind of let the board know what was happening, what happened at your meeting, and that you would be working on it, and we could come up with a date or a time to have a discussion about what we can do to help remedy the problem. And that's why I just said to you a couple minutes ago, I don't expect an answer tonight, but I would like to know what you think is a reasonable time period, so we can schedule another meeting tonight, so we don't have to worry about warning issues, and we can just move this forward for you.
And what she needs. So Rich,
Right, yeah. Go ahead, Laura.
I just want to jump in and also say one more last thing, which is I think I heard Donna say that she needs some extra hands. So, and I would leave it to you, Rich, to decide, you know, if it's appropriate for board, if it's appropriate for some sort of subcommittee or something, but I don't know if that's what Donna was referencing, but I think I heard that.
Yeah, and she can, again, she has the ability, she has her budget, she can hire, you know, part-time people or people to, why, Jen, why are you laughing? I'm sorry.
Nobody applauded.
Because there's no one.
Well, so.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because we've been putting out for subs, for vacancies. I've been looking long-term. There's been ads out. I'm sorry, Rich. There is no subs. There's nobody that's coming into the school for extra help. I guess that's why I'm laughing when you say that.
Maybe hiring needs to be taken off of Donna's plate. Maybe we need a subcommittee that is doing the hiring.
I'm sorry, I've had my hand up for a really long time.
Yeah, Chantel, hang on a second. Chantel, hang on a second. That's why we have, you know, public first. This is a discussion. We'll get to you in a minute, okay? But board members go first, and then we'll let you speak, okay? So just hang in for a second. Laura, board cannot hire people. The only person the board can hire is the super board can hire the superintendent. The superintendent is responsible for hiring staff in the building. That the legislature took that away from boards several years ago. So
that's not what I'm saying, Richard. Okay. So what I'm saying is putting together a hiring process to support this with Donna at Donna's direction and or with the superintendent. I'm not talking about us hiring. That is inappropriate. But it sounds like she could use some help with that. And I don't know if that help is available at the SU or somewhere else. If, you know, if there's more time that's available for,
but I think one of the things is Jen's saying is they've had ads out since the beginning of since last year, and there's nobody applying. So I don't know how you get people to apply. You know, and we had made some suggestions about trying, you know, some other things in school spring. But if anybody had, I don't know, Laura, how to move that forward.
Okay. So I would like us, I'm asking you, Richard, I would like us to have the superintendent work with the administrator to get her some assistance on the hiring that comes from outside of her time. So some support for that. So there are hiring agencies, there are, you know, she could work with the Department of Labor. There's got to be some help. We've got to take that piece, at least. I would like to see us try and take that piece off of Donna's plate, please. And Jen's. And so then that would look like us hearing from that group that is working at Donna and Bob's direction, but you know, they are not doing the work.
Okay, go ahead, Kate.
So the way that I process information is by pausing and recapping, and I'm gonna make you guys all do that with me because this is a big situation. This is unprecedented. We haven't had to deal with this. Our principal, both buildings, both principals are fresh. They haven't had to deal with this this is a big escalation. We all have a lot of learnings out of this situation. And it's really important that we're keeping the kids at the forefront. And we're understanding that these kids really have a lot of needs. This is, for some of them, it's the last year in our building, and that's hard. So I guess what I'm asking is that, you know, we make sure that Donna knows as she goes back and gets this information and works with Bob, that it's okay to ask for help. And I really appreciate Laura's suggestion of escalating it to maybe having a recruiter come in or maybe some other things. But, you know, this is unprecedented, and trying to figure out some outside the box solutions and making sure that Donna knows that it's not all on her shoulders, and that, you know, the board is here to support Donna and Bob and all of the administrations, and we're here to help. But anything you can do to verbalize what you need, we appreciate, but we understand this is a really hard thing to even go through daily, and then to stop and verbalize and say what you need is really tricky too. So we're here, think about it, and we'll do everything we can to expedite this, and we'll meet when it's appropriate to meet again, for sure.
All set, Kate?
Thank you.
You want to let Chantel go?
Sure.
Okay, Chantel and then Mike.
I can appreciate that we're all talking about solutions. However, I think that we're way past the idea of how are we going to hire someone. I'm someone who works in a school district. I understand how everyone's understaffed, and I don't think that the solution is to spend more time and energy and money on trying to find someone to replace Samantha at this point. I don't think there is anybody, and that's why the parents are really here saying, what's plan B? It's just very unlikely that we're gonna get anyone to replace a teacher it's the end of October. And so I think it's time for plan B. I honestly don't think it's time for, putting it in the newspaper. Sure, we can still do those things, but we're gonna wait another month to see if someone applies, then no one's gonna apply, or someone who's unexperienced is gonna apply. We're having substitute teachers come in, which is a Band-Aid fix for now. But what our kids need, right, is someone who is educated and aware of the curriculum, aware of the demands, someone who can actually teach them. And I don't think we're gonna be able to find someone to do that. And so I think it's time to kind of close that door and figure out what plan B is. Whether kids are being invited to go to Dover, or they can go to Leon and Gray because they're 6th graders and they're gonna be going there anyway. It's just, I think it's time to move on from that. I just don't think it's realistic.
Move on from looking from hiring.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I was just going to piggyback on Plan B of finding out who would be in the know for prorated tuition. I know we keep dancing around that, and that's pretty much what you guys are here for, I would assume.
Well,
and
tuition is if we can.
Of course, yeah, because if Dover can't handle it, because you're talking about how many students would be possibly coming here?
13.
Well, there's 13 in the
fifth and
classroom.
sixth.
Sure, and that's
So
fifth, sixth?
5, 6, and then the rest.
Yeah, that would be pretty big, right?
That's a large amount of kids.
Yeah, it's a large
Yeah, but before we just start saying we're going to move students over.
100%.
I think
throwing it out there
but
that we should talk
again,
to
that's
the
something
guy.
that the administration should talk about and see if it's even feasible.
Yeah, and we got to
Because
see
we
if it's
don't
even
know.
legal.
Bob
Because
already talked to me about this, and he said to me, would Dover take 6th graders? And I said, of course we would.
well, we're one district. And again, it's not Dover and Wardsboro. It's all River Valleys. We're just in 2 buildings. But again, though, we also reduced the staff member here.
Yeah.
And so are we comfortable? And I don't want to put anybody on the spot. I don't want you to answer it.
Well, that's
but-
why he asked me
Yeah.
specifically about 6th graders.
And I just think it needs a plan, because it's also, we've heard some parents say that they don't they don't want their child, they'd like their child to be able to do something there because it's their last year there, but want to keep them together, but do they go? So I think there's a whole bunch of moving pieces. And again, we just need, I thought, why couldn't we do, Laura, you remember this, I don't even know where it stands, but I wanted to see, could we share within the district, within WCSU, like if a Dover student wanted to go to Newfane because their parents worked, or Townsend because they worked at Grace Cottage, could we share students amongst other schools? And that was, we were told, no, we couldn't do that. And that made sense because, we're all one WCSU. And it was going to require special legislation to do that. I've been trying to get that done at the SU level for 5 or 6 years now, so that you could say, hey, maybe I work, in Townsend at the hospital, so I want my child to go to 5th grade at the Townsend school. So there's a lot of answers we need, but I think what I've heard so far, unless somebody else has something, is Laura's talking about a hiring group or hiring a hiring agency. Chantel wants to move on and figure out some alternatives besides hiring. Chantel, you mentioned Plan B. Do you have a Plan B, or are you just saying, other than hiring, move on to something else?
No, I think Plan B to me is like, where else can they go? Right. Whether that's Leona Gray for our 6th graders or, whatever, because, I'm hearing you say that, in the past we've asked if kids can have school choice, beyond the 2 districts, but, and that was not granted. But we're talking about a situation where our kids are not getting adequate education, and then that's not any fault to Donna or Valerie. That's because they're just being pulled too thin. Donna is brand new to the building, and she's having to give 20% to her principal hat and 50% to these 5th and 6th graders, and then 10 more to discipline. It's just not realistic. They need a classroom teacher. They need a certified teacher. They don't need a substitute. They don't need a paraeducator. They need a certified teacher. No one's going to get hired to be a certified teacher at the end of October, especially in a small town like Wardsboro, Vermont.
So
it needs to be discussed. Where can they go from here?
Okay, so just so you know, just to clarify it, we are one district. Wardsboro and Dover is one district. It's not 2. So we can move between the district, inside the district, but it's going outside to other schools in the
sure,
SU.
That's what I meant. Sure.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
I know, but you're saying, a kid wanted to go to Newbrook because, their parents.
Right, that's outside of the district.
But this is a different, I think we keep forgetting that this is a different scenario. It's not like we're being picky and we don't like Wardsboro and we feel like we need a different school because we want something better. Our kids do not have a classroom teacher.
Chantel, but what I'm telling you is we tried to do that. We were told that the law didn't allow us to do that. Or what was the deal, Laura? I mean, we tried to do it and we were told it couldn't be done.
I actually think you and Chantel might be talking past each other, and also I think you both might agree also, Rich.
Okay.
So.
No, I mean, so that's why I'm just saying is we need Bob to, Bob was supposed to check with the attorney and get back to us. Yeah.
So there's one other thing that, I don't know if we've done this, but hearing what we've heard tonight, I would love for us to charge the superintendent to work with our 2 administrators to see pretty quickly if we have a solution in the 2 buildings with the staff that we have, if there is a way to ameliorate this immediately, or pretty quickly with the staff that we have. And a no answer is fine, and it allows us to take that off. But also, I don't know that we've, it sounds like Bob has started to do that, but let's ask them, if we asked you to do it, what would you do?
Or what would it look like?
Yeah.
Okay. Can Don or Tracy write that down and send Bob an email just saying, you know, if we were to try to utilize the buildings in our district, what does that look like, and what happens with that? The second,
Our existing staff.
Yeah, the second thing is we need to find out what would we have to do if they wanted to tuition students outside of our district? What is the requirements that we have to do? And I would think the third thing would be to ask Bob to check with whoever, and I'm not sure where you go for this, is because we're in, as Chantel said, a really unique situation. It's not that parents are just, you know, want to do something different because it's more convenient for them. Is there something we could do, get special disposition for a year anyways, because we're in, I don't know what you want to call it, an unforeseen circumstances well beyond our control type of thing. So can we get those three things checked into?
I can follow up, but can you repeat that third thing?
I already did it, Donna. Done.
Okay, she's got it. But what I was kind of saying is that this is not something that we created. This is not something because parents just don't want to drive to Wardsboro or something. It's definitely something beyond our control. It's not something we can fix. You know, it's unexpected. It isn't just a teacher deciding they don't want to teach anymore. I mean, there's some really, you know, some tough times on everybody's part. So maybe there can be something done to allow us to do stuff that we've been told we can't do in the past, but maybe we can do it for a year just so we get kind of straightened out and figure out where we're headed. Those are three. It might, I know it's not what Chantel wanted, but do we want to think about some kind of hiring group or hiring what did you call it, a consultant? No, hiring agency. You know, is there some?
A recruiter.
Chad has his.
No, I see that, but I just want to make sure we cover what's been discussed so far.
So I think we have to see how we have advertised, and are we tapping into like a recruiter who can give us some expertise in how to elevate the way that we are trying to get new teachers here, and what areas are we missing?
But again, I think the concern is we can do that as an aside, but let's also move these other things forward.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess those are the four for now. Chad, what do you have? Oh, unmute yourself, sir.
Apologies, too many buttons. You know, yes, this is unique. I think, you know, compassion leads, and, you know, we have compassion for our teacher and her family. And compassion for the teachers and members of the staff in the Wardsboro building that are pulling together to fill in the gaps. It's difficult, and I think we need to be really careful, because I don't think there's any harm in asking, in all honesty. I'd rather ask than beg for forgiveness after the fact, but you know, with what has been requested, Rich, as you brought up, you know, previously, you know, for convenience or for betterment, you know, right now it's not an ideal situation. So we're really asking to create a loophole or an aside of the law that's currently in place that could become a terrible precedent down the line. Because in any school there could be a teacher that a group of parents say, hey, we don't like the education that they're giving, and because Wardsboro was able to do this because they weren't able to find, you know, a teacher who met that certification level, you know, so I think we can reasonably anticipate that it's a dangerous road to travel down, certainly to be the leader of, and what its repercussions are for later. And I think it's really important that it's, you know, yes, as the board, we are the conduit between parents and district, between students and teachers and all the like. But, and I'll say, you know, in all transparency, I have a student in the classroom that has been affected. And I have not asked yet, so I'm going to ask now. Just Rich, as you and Laura had done so well on behalf of the board, what can we do to support you, Donna as the principal and teacher, Valerie as the principal, as a teacher within the school? What can we as parents do to alleviate some of that? What lessons can we bring to the school for 2 hours a day as parents, with our life experiences, with our work experiences, even if that gives, the principal an opportunity to refocus on her duties as an administrator. It's very easy to grab that soapbox, stand and tell us what's wrong and what we don't like, but who has really stepped up from outside of this board and outside of the teachers and staff members at Wardsboro to say, we're here to help, lean on us. What can we do? Can we try X, Y, or Z? We all recognize, I hope, that there is definitely a shortage of people that are available. Whether this becomes a permanent situation for Mrs. Bovat, that remains to be seen. So therefore, knowing that it could only be for, 6 months out of the year, even 5 months by the time we could find someone is very difficult. We recognize that. But it's worth continuing the effort to find someone, because you know what? Miracles do happen, and it would be miraculous to find a wonderful teacher to fill in for the long term temporarily. But there might just be someone who has recently retired and said, hey, you know what? I have the energy to be able to do this for these students. So it is absolutely worthwhile and in our better interest for the students and their families, I think, to engage a recruiter of some sort in this situation. And that's really how we go forward. But I think as parents of the class, yeah, we have expectations that the teaching is done by the teachers. But as we've seen nationally, we have that expectation until we don't like what they teach. And then we hem and haw and we try to get them displaced. So now we have an opportunity where a teacher has been displaced through no fault, through no effort, and through the worst circumstances that any of us can ever imagine. And I think it's time that we ask ourselves, parents, me speaking as a parent for a moment, what can we do? How can we alleviate some of the stress that the building is seeing right now? While we undertake as a board and as the administration to find a suitable replacement, for the temporary long term.
Thank you, Chad. Okay, so other than the four we discussed, folks, hiring a recruiter, an agency committee, can we do it in one building? Can we move people to Dover? One thing, if we think about moving students, we also have to think about getting them to the buildings or getting them wherever they're going. So I'm just going to add transportation on that. Can we tuition students within the SU? And then can we go outside the district to where they may want to go in 7th grade? And then Donna needs to let us know any short-term assistance she needs other than people, because obviously we can't find any. Did I miss anything? Pardon?
I have a
Oh, I'm
question,
sorry.
and are there any laws or rules or regulations to not having a teacher for a period of time? And what is that period of time? And I don't know if that might not be something anybody can answer right now. It's just a question I have. If you don't have a teacher for a certain amount of time, is that breaking any laws or rules or regulations in a school?
No, the administration needs to make sure that the kids are taken care of.
Sure, so.
Because the state doesn't regulate how many teachers you have to have in a building.
Right, but there is no 5-6 teacher, so I'm just asking.
Right, but you could have a single classroom and do pre-K through 12. There's no regulation on how many teachers have to be in a building. There were recommendations like one librarian for every 300 students.
Okay.
And that's one of those. The Vermont pays for education through the state, but they give us local control, and that's part of the local control. We can kind of decide how many teachers we want to have. It used to be you decide how many you had and you could find them. Now, obviously, it's a different world. trying to hire people.
Okay.
And, you know, one of the things that happened in Wyndham was they're a small school too, and, you know, they had a lot of trouble finding qualified candidates, so.
Right, so they mixed their class, right?
No, they've always been 2 teachers, but they had trouble just finding they had trouble finding any teacher. I don't think it was till the middle of summer, excuse me, that they had their 2 teachers, or even 1 teacher. So I got those, are you set?
Yeah.
So I got those 4 or 5 things. Donna, so when do we think we can meet again? Because, and again, I know that there was some concern. I don't want to like wait a couple weeks to see if we can. I think to hire a recruit or find a recruiter or an agency is going to take a period of time. So I think we should try to move forward the best we can. Again, Don, I was just not trying to put undue stress on you. That's why I suggested next Monday. But, you know, if you maybe want to, we could set a couple meeting dates and then you can talk with Tracy tomorrow and Bob and see what you think is right. Again, you have a budget, so you can hire. Jen, don't laugh at me, but you can find, if you can find somebody you can pay, you know, you have the ability to do that. You don't need board approval for that. You need, if you're going to do something extraordinary like hire a company, maybe that would be something. But you know, if you have a parent after tonight's meeting that says, "Hey, I can come in and work and do, you know, give you 4 hours a day," you know, you have the ability to do that with Bob, obviously, because all hiring goes through the central office. Chad, go ahead.
Thanks, Rich. And the other thing that I wanted us to add is, as far as a conduit to look into, and while it would mean engaging with someone who's not certified but on their way to, is, you know, certainly student teaching that second semester, you know, may be an ideal fit as well. You know, being able to have seasoned educators like Valerie and Donna be able to mentor a, you know, master's degree candidate who needs their student teaching and what have you. You know, maybe we can wrangle somebody from the Castleton campus. You know, I think that's something that, you know, another area that needs to be thrown.
Yeah, you didn't see that letter, but I believe Donna and Bob have already reached out to some colleges. But then I also think the other mother was concerned because they want they feel that the classroom needs a teacher, not somebody learning to teach, because it's, you know, there's been other challenges besides this. But again, if, you know, sometimes you may find the right candidate, you might find somebody who's in college and is going to do a wonderful job, but that's kind of for the administration to let us know. But yeah, if that has been done, I forget exactly where. And I think that's another problem too. Teaching isn't a profession a lot of people are seeming to get into. So we got those things. Is everybody good with that? We've got the list, and our administration will talk to Bob. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me. Do you want to try to meet on Thursday sometime, or do you want to wait till Monday? What's a good date?
I'm available after 3:30 on Thursday.
So I would love to meet as soon as Bob and Donna and Tracy can provide us with an answer about whether or not we can configure our buildings and staff in a way to solve this problem for the year.
Okay, so let's do this.
Even if it's a no. So,
yeah,
you know.
why don't we do this? Why don't we plan on 2 meetings? And let's not do late meetings, let's do after school, so the administration so why don't we look for Thursday and Monday to have a meeting at 3:30. If you have nothing for us, just let us know. We won't hold the meeting. But if you have something that, you know, can help, or some other thoughts. And then my suggestion as parents, if you have suggestions, if you don't mind writing them down, or had other thoughts after tonight, or, you know, when you're tossing and turning in bed, you come up with, you know, the answer to the universe. Just put it in an email and send it to the school, send it to Wardsboro School, and then Jen can just put them together, and then she can give that to them. And then hopefully we've got our 4 or 5 questions we want Bob to answer. And, you know, maybe as Chad said, and we can all hope and cross our fingers, somebody will fall out of the sky tonight and say, I really want to teach in Wardsboro School. That's been my goal for my whole life. And we, you know, Chad, we have had a lot of retired teachers retire to the area and say, boy, I'd love to help out. And sometimes it's been really good. So how about Thursday? So Thursday would be the 16th, 19th? Right?
3:30.
3:30, Zoom meeting.
I can't make it until 4.
Okay, let's do 4.
If you have a quorum without me, then do what you need to do.
Is there any board members that can't make it because we need at least 4?
I can make it.
Can you make it?
Yeah, I'll make it.
I can do my best, but that's going to be tough on my schedule that early in the workday.
Can you make it?
Yeah, Monday I gotta carpool kids to CCD.
Okay. So for Thursday, I think I have 4. So why don't we do 3:30? And even if we don't have a quorum, we can listen and hear, get the presentation. And then Kate, if you come out at 4, then we'll definitely have a quorum. So Thursday the 19th.
Richard, can the staff meet at 3:30?
Can what? That's what Donna said. That's what Donna that was Donna's suggestion.
Okay, sorry. Apologies.
Yeah, that's why I said 3:30. And then Monday at 3:30, do I have 3 other people that can meet Monday? You can meet Monday. Can you meet Monday?
Yeah.
You can't. Can you do Monday, Laura?
I'll hop on, but I'll have kids.
Huh?
I'll hop on, but I'll have kids.
Okay. Well,
Chirping in the background.
Chad, can you do Monday, or is that tough for you?
It's going to be tough, but I can do my best.
Okay, so I think we got enough for Monday at 3:30. Let's try to do that, and we'll do that remote too. So just
Thanks, Rich.
yeah. So does anybody else have any comments on? And no, we got kind of all over the place, but is everybody good with this? Is there any other comments before we move on?
I do want to thank you, Richard, for getting this. I feel satisfied. I was really worried, and I feel like we got to a decent place. And I just want to reassure our staff that we really want to have your back, and our parents, that we hear you, and just, let's all work together here.
So who's warning meetings now? Is that still central office? Okay, I'll send an email to Bob's office. Well, sometimes Matt was doing them and it gets confusing. So,
All mine always come from Sue Haskins.
yeah, so that's what
I'll email Sue right now, you guys.
Okay,
I'll
so
email Sue and Bob.
just tell her we want to have, a meeting, give her those 2 dates, get the Zoom account. Why don't we do the live portion, because we're supposed to have we're required to also have a place that people can go if they can't Zoom. So why don't we do them both up in Wardsboro? Donna, so you'll just have to run the Zoom for us. I know you can't make it, so we'll do them on Zoom, and we'll do the best we can without having them recorded.
I don't know.
Huh?
You might be able to send someone.
Okay, I don't think there'll be long meeting, it's not gonna be a 2 or 3 hour meeting, but it should probably be at least an hour and a half. Okay, so is everybody good? You guys all set? Okay, everybody on TV land all set?
Thank you.
No, thank you,
Thank
folks.
you.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so Donna, you covered a couple other things in your principal's report. Are you all set? Okay. Superintendent's report, we don't have one. Policy update. Kate, you're gonna look at, and I gave Mike my copy of the investment. And then, do you guys have anything else coming up?
I don't have a list as of right now, but my next steps are to reach out to Mike to schedule a policy meeting, and then we will warn the meeting, put an agenda forth, and send that out to central office.
So,
but my first step is to reaching out to Mike to make sure we.
There was one tweak we had to make that Bob said we were just a whisker behind on too.
Yeah, one policy.
One policy.
Right, and
We
Kate
just gotta
has
tweak.
that.
Yep.
So just, if you have, Don and Tracy, you don't have to go to policy committee, but just if you would look at the policies beforehand and just let Kate or Mike know if there's something you don't like in them or something that you think should be changed or something that doesn't work in the buildings.
The only thing that I noticed when I was looking at them online is that they all still say Tammy Bates and Matt Martin. I don't know if that's a huge deal.
Usually they don't have names, do they?
The HHB one does.
Oh, because you have to, the hazing, harassment, and bullying. See, and I don't like that. That's why I said it should be the administrator, because what if you leave in the middle of the year?
Right, exactly.
What if we have 4 administrators in 1 year? Right. Oh, and we can't change that, can we?
Where'd you get your paper?
I think we had to have a person on that one, otherwise, yes, we default.
Yeah, okay. So we'll take care of that. So that's policy. Anything else on policy? Okay. Is there any other new business? Is Laura, Laura's still here. She's still got a meeting. Okay, if there's no other new business, minutes of the October 2nd, 2023, minutes are attached. Are there any corrections, additions, comments? Okay, hearing none, then by unanimous consent, we'll accept the minutes of the October 2nd meeting. I had no correspondence. Did Donna, you or Tracy have any? Donna, do you have any correspondence?
I do not.
Okay.
I thought we got a letter.
Yeah, there's a letter.
Addressed to the board. From a group of parents.
Yeah. You not see that?
Who was it addressed to?
All of us.
Did we get that one before the last meeting
No, I believe it came Tuesday or Wednesday.
of this week?
No.
Hang on.
Oh, right after the last meeting?
Yeah, it came on the 5th, on Thursday. And Rich, the reason why you probably didn't get it is because it was sent to your actual Wyndham Central board address.
Okay.
Good luck reading that, Mr.
Yeah.
Johnson.
Thank you. So October 1st, 2023, River Valley Board, as we approach budget season and you'll be making decisions about staffing at Dover School, we, the undersigned parents of the multi-age classroom, would like to be given an opportunity to share thoughts about its effectiveness. We know you will, of course, have to examine other data like the district panorama survey, benchmark and state tests, and Dover School staff feedback. However, we feel that parent input will be a vital addition to this process. Specifically, we'd like to be able to complete a survey with both questions and comments section to share our thoughts on how this year has gone thus far. We believe that in doing so, you will be honoring the statements made about evaluating how it's going forward and make changes if necessary to the current 2-year plan. Thank you for your time and consideration. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 parents, some multiple signatures. Did you get a copy of this, Tracy?
What's the date on it?
October 1st.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So thank you for the parents who wrote the
I got it
letter.
like a while ago.
October 1st, I guess, or 2nd.
Bob gave it to me, I think, October 6th.
Okay, so that was after the last
2 days
meeting.
after the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We're at Dover, so we're on our 2nd October meeting, so yeah. Okay,
I don't believe it got sent till the 6th or 5th.
okay, but so it was dated to come to us
Sure.
at the meeting on the 1st. Right, when did we meet? We met on the 2nd, so they probably meant for it to get to us. Okay. But we've got that. When you do your budget, you were gonna talk to us about that, and you've already made some changes, haven't you? Because I thought you brought a para in.
I do. I began the hire. We had interviews and we chose somebody, and now we just have to wait on Mrs. Garland and Mrs. Brown. We have a general ed para
Okay,
for that room.
so you have made some changes, and was that affected, was that after this letter?
I had started that before I even got that letter.
Okay, so you have been, you are keeping track of it in there.
I am. I get weekly, almost sometimes daily updates from the teacher, and things, she said, since she's had parent-teacher conferences, things have been much better.
Okay. So maybe the other thing is, next time we're in Dover, the second November meeting, maybe you can just give us a kind of a report on that, how things are going.
Of course.
Okay, is everybody okay with that, on that letter? No, I didn't need you to focus in on me, I just couldn't see if I was on there or not. Okay, if there's nothing else, the next meeting is November 6th at Wardsboro for the regular board meeting, and then we have the next two in Wardsboro also. Donna's gonna start hating to see us in her building so much. I think we're all good. If there's nothing else, I think I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn. I'll second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Bye, Jen. Bye, Donna. Thank you, everybody. Motion's over.